What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brennan. I'm BManX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have another how to build series deck. This is HeavyMetaldramon, one of the new EX7 decks I'm really interested in. A new support line for Impmon, taking it a little bit of a different direction as the mill deck, which is the Beelzemon deck. So we're going to look into the cards that we're getting in this set and how to build this deck and how we think the best way to build this deck is, or there's a bunch of different options. We have some cards that are not released yet because there's some BT9 support coming out, and we thought we'd take a look at that and see if that's going to do anything for the deck or if it's just more of Beelzemon stuff. And we have a couple different options here. So we'll look at these cards and just see what we think is going to be the best way to build the deck, and if it's going to be viable in EX7 right out the gate, or we're going to need another set of line support. But hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it here. We have the new Impmon right here. If we look at him, he's a your turn when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon / Evil Dragon trait, reduce the digital cost by 1. And then your turn, this Digimon gets plus 2,000. So he's actually a 3,000 Impmon. Oh, sorry, no, that's the inheritable. Sorry, your inheritable gets plus 2,000. Digivolves from Yammon. I forgot to grab the Yammon. Here, the new Yammon here in EX7. So if we come back here to, so this one here has an inherited effect when attacking once per turn. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, this Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon trait in the trash. So kind of like the Bowmon for that line, lets you go into your stuff in the trash, which is going to be really good because you really want to have a low hand size, so you want to put a lot of stuff in the trash. You have the Punkmon, which is the champion, which Digivolves, and then if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you can play one of the Yuki Tamer. Inherited plus 2,000. Digivolves from an evil trait guy for 2. So there's that. Then Loudmon, on play when Digivolving, trash 2 cards in your hand. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 7,000 DP or less. Rule trait, this has the Dark Dragon type. I can't remember. I think he's an Evil Dragon. But he also Digivolves for reduced cost here. For a Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon for 3. Excuse me. Alright. So yeah. And then your turn inheritable. Well, you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand. All of your Digimon with the Dark Dragon or Evil Dragon trait gain security attack plus 1. So that's good. And then, of course, you got Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal is the boss monster of the deck. When Digivolving, trash 2 cards in your hand. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. Of course, if you have the line, you're getting plus 4,000. So he's more like 17,000. He's kind of beefy. And then, end of your turn, once per turn, you may play 1 card with evil / Dark Dragon / Evil Dragon trait and a play cost of 8 or less from your trash without paying the cost for each card in your hand. Reduce this 1 from this effect's play cost minimum. So this is why you want to have as little cards in your hand as possible. And you can just make up a big field, basically. And then of course, you're going to get security attack plus 1 from this guy, so he's going to be able to check 2 cards and then summon something out. So generally with this, this is more of a trash in hand deck, not a mill deck, but there's still something to be said for mill consistency cards. The last card for the line is, of course, Yuki. Start of your main phase, if your opponent has the Digimon gain a memory. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, by suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Dark Dragon, Evil Dragon trait from the trash. So not only does the Yammon do it once per turn, but you can also use the Yukis to digital from the trash. So you don't need stuff in hand as long as you have your Tamers and your Inheritables on board. And then that's basically the line right there. So we look at some other cards here. Obviously, you're going to play 4 of all of the line, basically. Maybe 3 Yugi. Probably 4. We don't have like a good. I think we'll probably get another version of her as a memory tamer in the future, but that's going to be a while. Some other good options that you can play in this deck. The new Impmon Scatter Mode from EX7 is kind of a bit of support for this deck. On play, trash 1 card in your hand. Then you may return 1 Digimon card with the Evil Dragon, Dark Dragon trait from your trash to your hand. And then Inheritable Retaliation. So you can do that with the whole, HeavyMetaldramon. Sorry. No, you can't, because it's got to be an evil trait. And I don't think this is... Yeah, no, it's a... I can't tell if it's an evil trait or not. But you can hard play this, trash something you want in your trash, and grab something back that you don't want in your trash. Plus, the Inheritable Retaliation is always good. And then, of course, you have the regular Impmon, because you can, if you're playing like 4 of that as well, you might as well play 1 of that, because sometimes you might get it off using a trash ability. Another good one is Goblimon. Once per turn, when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, gain a memory inheritable. It's pretty good. He's not gonna get you. You're gonna have to Digivolve for 3 on a Punkmon, which is more. But I mean, the overall memory gain from Goblimon has been crazy in some decks. Like Leviamon loved this card. Another good card, the trash, on deletion, trash top 3 cards, Impmon. If you don't have, if you can't always get to this guy, if you have this guy, at least you can Digivolve in the back and then bring him out the next turn and attack. And either he's taking away your opponent's security or he's milling you 3 cards, which is, potentially good because it gets you your pieces in the trash. A couple other Impmons that I thought might be decent, but not going to be the best. You have the basically Warp Digivolve Impmon. If you have 20 or more cards, like you're going to be getting cards in the trash because you're going to be like drawing cards and then trashing them. So might not always be as easy to get to 20, but there is potential for you to like tech in like a Beelzemon line. So there's the Rush, there's the Warp Digivolve Impmon. If you have 20 or more cards in your trash, can Digivolve to Beelzemon from your trash for a Digillusion cost of 3. There's the Security Impmon, because that one at the end at the end of battle, you may play 1 purple level 3 from your trash without paying its memory, and then add this card to your hand, so it gets you an Impmon to your hand, as well as playing something for free from your trash, which is always really good in a deck that is playing from the trash and honestly not having a big hand size. There is Impmon from BT19, which is on play if you have 1 or fewer Tamers. You may play a purple Tamer with a play cost of 4 or less from your trash without paying the cost. This one's going to be good just because I think in the future it'll allow you to trash your Tamers and then play them, which is always good. And it's on play, so that's actually really cool. So you could potentially 4 cost play a Tamer first turn and have an Impmon on the field. And he has Inheritable Retaliation as well, so that's kind of cool. So that's going to be a future card that's going to be good. We won't have it for X7, obviously. Another Impmon, of course, would be X Antibody. So you can Digivolve on him by trashing 1 option card in your hand. You may return 1 Digimon card with the Evil, Wizard, or Demon Lord trait from your trash to your hand. So I don't know if Evil Dragon would count. I would assume it would because it has... Unless it's... Well, no, because it just says... it's in brackets, so probably you could add another Impmon basically back. Necessarily not might be the best, unless you were playing like a Beelzemon, heavy metal version. We also have Black Gatomon into the level 4s. From EX7, when Digivolving on deletion by trashing one card in your hand, one of your Digimon gains blocker. At blocker timing, by suspending this Digimon, it becomes the attack target and retaliation. When this Digimon is deleted after losing a battle, delete. Oh, okay, it's just the explanations for retaliation and blocker. And that happens until the end of your opponent's turn. And then inheritable opponent's turn once per turn when an opponent's Digimon attacks by deleting one of your other Digimon and the attack, which is kind of interesting. It does let you trash, so that's always good. And then we have for level 5s, other level 5s, we have Orochimon from EX7. It's a blocker. On deletion, trash one card in your hand, then delete one of your opponent's level 3 and level 4 Digimon, so that's not bad. And then inheritable retaliation again. We don't really have a lot of good level 5s for this deck at the point, so this is an option as well. Like I said, if I was going to play a Beelzemon variant, I would generally use the Rush Beelzemon, especially because if you use the Warp Impmon, like you can play it off of like an ability, and then or just hard play it basically, and then Digivolve into this guy right here, and then you have Rush plus you de-Digivolve and you mill 4. So I think he's probably the best one, I think, for this deck if you were going to splash that in. And then I'd probably tech a X antibody, just because depending on late game, it could help you get game easy. And then lastly, for level 6s, there's a couple Nidhoggmons. So the Nidhoggmon from BT7, when you trash a card from your hand using one of your effects, you gain a memory. So a couple of that would be really good for memory gain, since you're always going to be trashing cards in your hand, as well as the new Nidhoggmon. When it's in the trash during your main, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, you may play this card from your trash with the play cost reduced by 4. So you can play it for 7. It's a blocker. And then on deletion, you may play a level 5 or lower Digimon with the Dark Dragon / Evil Dragon trait from your trash without paying the cost. So you can play your level 5, you can play a level 4. That's really, really good. And then we got some other new cards that are come out in BT19. We have Beelzemon Blast Mode. Again, this could be like an option you could play if you were playing a Beelzemon support line, or it could just be like you could play this because you can hard play it for 8, right? On play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, delete one of their Digimon instead. So you can basically any Digimon. And then when attacking once per turn by returning 10 non-DGA cards from your trash to the top of your deck, trash your opponent's top security card. So that's kind of interesting. And you can set cards on the top of your deck in any order, which could be good. So it's an interesting card. Probably not gonna be playing this deck, but like I said, if you go for like kind of a Beelzemon variant, you could see something like that. Bonds of True Love. When this card is trashed from the deck, you may place this card in the battle area. Main, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. Then place this card in the battle area. So basically, it has a little bit of a mill function, kind of like Miss Memory Boost. Start of your turn, if you don't have a Digimon, delay after this card is placed by trashing it in the next turn or later, activate the effect below. You may play one Impmon from your trash without paying the cost. So that can be really good, just because it mills and it plays you an Impmon. So, I mean, just playing a free Impmon is always good. It is a 3 cost though, so it is kind of hefty. This could be good in both a Beelzemon deck or just a heavy metal deck, depending on how many Impmons you play. We have Missed Memory Boost. We have the Memory Boosts. Basically, this deck's going to run a lot on option cards. Mainly, you got this, you can mill and then gain memory and then draw. This one can search you. You don't have a ton of Tamers, so you don't have to worry as much about throwing Tamers on the bottom. And then Wisdom Training, obviously, to reduce Digivolution costs. You have a lot of ways to reduce Digivolution costs. I'm not sure about the Wisdom Training, just because you're always Digivolving from the trash. I kind of feel like that's a little bit wasteful. And there's going to be times you're going to Digivolve from your hand, so you just got to play it out, and see how many times you're doing, one or the other. If you're Digivolving more from the hand, then maybe trainings are good. If you're not Digivolving from the hand a lot, maybe they're not so good. There's a new Mako in BT19, which is start of your main phase when your opponent, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory. If you have 20 or more cards in your trash, by suspending this Tamer, one of your Impmon may Digivolve into a Beelzemon in your hand or trash for a digital cost of 4. So it basically gives you the ability of the Warp BT2 Beelzemon in a Tamer form. And because, if you got a memory Tamer and then you have this, you're getting 4 memory at the start of your turn. You have enough memory to basically warp into the Beelzemon. So just a new way to warp Digivolve. Probably not going to do anything for this deck, but I just wanted to mention it because it is some new support we're going to be getting in general for Impmon. Like I said, if you're going to build like a hybrid deck of Beelzemon and Heavy Metal, maybe that's the way to go. But if you're any of those BT9 cards, I don't think are going to be terribly good in this deck, except for maybe Bonds of True Love might have some potential. Of course, we have Matashita as our memory tamer because we don't have many tamer options. And then when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, you can suspend them to gain a memory. So just helps you get that memory. You have a couple ways to get memory off of trashing cards in your hand. So that's, I think like the deck's got potential. I don't think it's gonna be top tier. You might get lucky and you might have this be tier 2, tier 1.5. I think it just doesn't have enough support. I'm very interested in playing it and seeing how things go, but it suffers the thing that a lot of things like suffers the same kind of thing that Ravemon suffered, which is what you're having to kind of support it with a whole bunch of tech cards, basically Nidhoggmon, stuff like that. Goblymon, like potentially being one of the best options for level 3s after you play like 4 and 4 of this. Well then, like, you're paying more memory to Digivolve into him, so that, because these guys are really iffy. And then of course, you got these guys, and the level 5s being not, that guy being okay but not as good obviously as the main guy. So it's gonna be a tricky build. I think it's worth checking it out because it looks like it's gonna be a fun deck. But I think it's definitely gonna have its issues to begin with. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll definitely be testing this. I'll be doing a deck profile on it. Hopefully I can figure out the best way to run the deck and let you guys know. But tell me what you guys think. Is there any cards I forgot? Is there any other things that I could have mentioned in this video that might be good card choices for this deck? I'm basically just looking at kind of some basic options. Basically, cards that'll give you something for trashing them from the hand. Cards that allow you to trash cards from the hand fast. If we had anything, I would say that a line support for this would be really good, is if they created a line support for this deck that gave you something when you trash the card from hand. That to me would be very worthwhile, making it so that every time you trash something from hand, you're gaining an advantage as well as putting your pieces in the trash for yourself later. So that is just my opinion there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And it looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day. And that's all for now, folks.